All right, check this out. Elon Musk is finally retreating, but I want to show you a few things that he achieved that nobody's really talking about because we have relentlessly on this channel covered Elon Musk's consolidation of power, the way that he used his wealth to buy Twitter, to fund Trump, and then to help his own businesses. When he says he's making the government more efficient, he means he's making it more efficient for himself, for SpaceX, for Tesla, and for all of his billionaire friends, and I can demonstrate that throughout this video. I want to show you why Elon Musk is disappearing from the spotlight, why certain Trump admin officials have called him a, quote, political liability, and then we also have Elon Musk saying himself that he's done. But it's not that much of a win because we still have a lot of fighting to do. Can I just back up and remind you that roughly 3 years ago, Trump posted on Truth Social, when Elon Musk came to the White House asking me for help on all of his many subsidized projects, whether it's electric cars that don't drive long enough, driverless cars that crash, or rocket ships to nowhere without which subsidies he'd be worthless, and telling me how he was a big Trump fan, I could have said, drop to your knees and beg, and he would have done it. Trump posted this, and then a photo of them, Elon Musk standing awkwardly, and then Gavin Newsom says, you bent the knee. The point is, in 2022, Trump was relentlessly bullying Elon Musk. Then Elon Musk buys Twitter. He says on X, or he changes it to X, and then he says he will not fund either side in the 2024 presidential election. But then as the election gets closer and closer, he begins to hang out with these right-wing figures. He begins to boost right-wing propaganda and fall down this rabbit hole on Twitter. And then, and this is the key part, after he begins to fund Trump and personally door knock, Trump gets into office and Elon Musk does a few key things. Number one, he gets Trump to fire certain inspectors general so there are no checks on Elon's businesses. Then this happens. Elon Musk's regulatory troubles have begun to melt away in Trump's second term. The Trump admin has halted some regulatory matters involving Musk's company, and that's because they fired multiple inspectors general. And yesterday, Caroline Levitt, you may have seen this clip on my channel or another channel. Yesterday, Caroline Levitt gets asked by this group of kids, hey, has Trump fired anyone? And she says, no, but he's fired thousands, tens of thousands of people. It might even be 100,000 if you look across all of the sectors. Department of Agriculture, the VA, USAID is like 10 to 12,000 on its by itself. So definitely has fired tens of thousands of people. But check this out. Since the start of the second Trump admin, federal agencies that had scrutinized Musk and his business empire in recent years have begun to look a lot different. At the Department of Ag, for example, President Trump fired the person who had been investigating the Musk company Neuralink. And then, in more than 40 other federal agency matters, regulators have taken no public action. Now, the thing is, you might be rolling your eyes because I've talked about this story like 4 times over the past week, but that's not because I'm trying to be repetitive and boring. It's because I think repetition is key when talking about Elon Musk's corruption. If I just covered the story once and then don't really revisit it, how effective is that? So I talk about it basically every other day to make sure that people don't forget what Elon Musk has done. On top of that, can I also point out that DOGE has aimed to pool federal data, putting personal information at risk. Now, some people think Elon Musk is trying to create a surveillance state. That could be true, but also, I think Elon's end result is to benefit his own businesses. We've proven that time and time again. He's trying to benefit his own businesses. And if you have the data of every single consumer in America and their consumption habits, then you can surgically target them and target their needs. And I guess that feeds into Elon Musk trying to create a surveillance state again. And yo, really quickly, if you made it this far in the video, you obviously are enjoying spending some time, so it'd mean the world if you drop a like. And someone said, you earned my sub, Adam. Keep telling the truth. So if you want to join the crew, scroll down, click subscribe. But let's continue with this article. The goal, a centralized system with unprecedented access to data about Social Security, taxes, medical diagnoses, and other private information. This would create a multitude of vulnerabilities, experts say. This is regarding Elon Musk and DOGE collecting data. U.S. DOGE service is racing to build a single centralized database with vast troves of personal information about millions of U.S. citizens and residents, a campaign that often violates or disregards core privacy. Nobody's talking about this. Okay, some people are talking about this, but all of this is to say, when Elon Musk begins to disappear from the spotlight and become a clear political vulnerability for the Trump admin, it's still not a good thing because we have a lot to push back on. This should be an easy message around the midterms, especially as Republicans cut Medicaid, Maybe that's why he's backing out. Maybe that's why he's retreating at this exact moment, because as they cut Medicaid for tens of millions of Americans, people will be like, wait, but Elon Musk is still walking around the White House. Elon Musk and Trump have often been the main characters of the internet. On Truth Social, where Trump is known for sharing his unfiltered thoughts, the president used to mention Musk every few days, but now he barely even posts about him. Musk's highly visible presence in Washington has ended, a political analysis found. In Trump's rapidly evolving second presidency, Musk's monopoly on political discourse, news coverage, and social media seems to have broken. Now, Senator John Kelly said, I miss him. But read this, quote, he's finished, done, gone. He polls terrible. People hate him, said a GOP operative who was granted anonymity to speak frankly. Quote, he'd go to Wisconsin thinking he can buy people's votes, wear the cheese hat, act like a 9-year-old. It doesn't work. It's offensive to people. Remember, they kind of got creamed in the Supreme Court race in Wisconsin a few months back. And a lot of people were blaming Elon Musk. So let's check out Elon talking about this.
In terms of political spending, I'm going to do a lot less in the future.
And why is that?
I think I've done enough.
Is it because of blowback?
Well, if I see a reason to do political spending in the future, I will do it. I do not currently see a reason.
Yeah, because he achieved all of his corrupt goals. It's not because of political blowback, to be honest. I mean, part of it probably is. We know that he's incredibly sensitive. We know that Elon Musk's breakdown almost caused him to get a San Francisco Police Department wellness check after he was booed at the Dave Chappelle show. I mean, I'm sure he's built sort of a thick skin being in politics, but not really. I mean, this dude is incredibly, incredibly sensitive. So that's part of it. But it's honestly because once you achieve your end goals, you back off. Let me remind you one more time. John Michaels, a law professor, said he wouldn't be surprised if federal agencies are now slow walking or halting the 40-plus ongoing matters investigating Elon Musk's companies. Quote, you're not just going against Elon Musk, he said. You're going against Elon Musk, who's puppeteering large swaths of the federal government, referring to Musk's sweeping role as a White House advisor for DOGE. He added that some individual federal workers may fear for their safety due to Musk's documented pattern of singling out people for criticism on his massive social media platform. I also made a video, I believe, 2 days ago about how Elon Musk sent multiple members of DOGE to a person's house, their personal home, to try to get access to the building that they work at. Just batshit crazy, crazy stuff. Some agencies have helped Musk's businesses by relaxing written regulations. Last month, the Transportation Department lowered the threshold for self-driving car companies, including Tesla, to report safety incidents. Wow. Very, very glad they have our best interest in mind. This is an oligarchy in the most literal sense. It doesn't just have to be Russia, where Vladimir Putin has his closest people, like throwing people off roofs. We don't have to be all the way at Russia to be an oligarchy or to have an authoritarian regime. Or, you know, a wannabe authoritarian regime where I think the courts have stepped in time and time again and actually checked them. And I know a lot of people feel like it's grim, but I promise you, there was a study done recently where the courts have actually stopped the Trump admin more often than not. And there are examples of the Trump admin definitely defying court orders. We've covered that relentlessly, but more often than not, a court steps in. I think it was like 55% of the time. And more often than not, the Trump admin follows those court orders. There are a few where they're not following them, and we have to keep relentlessly talking about that, like with DOGE, like with Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia, like with due process. But we'll continue to talk about that as things develop. If you appreciate the work I do, go drop a like. You know, we built an amazing community. I really love all of you. I appreciate every single one of you that spends time with me every day. Trust me, I read almost all of the comments. I can't really respond to all of them, but I see a lot of you guys over and over, and I recognize you, so I appreciate that, and peace out.